am the Gatekeeper of the Tower of Shadows. His Majesty welcomes all who would enter into his domain. Do you wish to enter the shadows?
What do you mean?
I am the Gatekeeper of the Tower of Shadows. His Majesty welcomes all who would enter into his domain. Do you wish to enter the shadows?
Okay, I'm just gonna pause briefly here. Welcome to the final level of Stonekeep, Khull-Khuum's tower. The buttons here allow you to answer the Gatekeeper's question with either yes or no. Whichever answer you give doesn't really matter that much, but if you give the right answers, you get a hint for the final battle with Khull-Khuum. Pressing the green triangle is yes, pressing the red square is no. Do we really wish to enter the shadows? I don't think we do.
You have left your foolishness behind. Have you need to enter?
Briefly pausing again. So we're on to the Gatekeeper's little game. Do we have need to enter the shadows? Well, we definitely do, because if we don't, we're never going to be able to stop Khull-Khuum.
The time has come. The prophecy will be fulfilled, and your fate written. As Keeper of Shadows, it is my fate to tell you that the silver light can keep the shadows at bay. Forgive me, Master.
And so the Gatekeeper has served his purpose. If you do not have all the orbs in your inventory by the time you reach this point, the Gatekeeper will not allow you to pass. Ow! Okay, that door is trapped. We're not going to be able to pass through there just now. Let's have a look at the opposite number.
Magic bars your way. Magic is the key to the solution. Bah, the solution is simple. Can you not see it?
Well, this seems like an empty room at first, but in the wall to the side, there is something of interest. A panel with 16 different switches with strange symbols. Well, no sense in pressing symbols at random right now. Let's just keep going until we find a clue. The door straight ahead is more or less Khull-Khuum's front door. It leads into a stairway that leads right up to his chambers. Not a good idea to go in there right now. And from around the corner comes a new enemy type. Wow, it's spiked cylinders which slash at you and explode if you smash them. Because of my armor and shield spells, they can't really do anything against me. And they're definitely not one of the more creative enemies in this game. It's kind of unfortunate that this final level of the game doesn't throw any interesting enemies your way. The floating spike cylinders and fire elementals. Let's use that mysterious rune I found in the Gate of the Ancients on them. This is the Vampire rune. As you may notice, it steals hit points from your enemies and adds them to your own. Kinda sucks to get that spell in a point of the game when there's only one enemy left that it actually works on. And it's not even a humanoid enemy. On the ground here we find another one of those stat raising potions, so let's chug that down right now and add some more health to Drake's max hit points. Obviously this level is a palette swap of the Palace of Shadows, turned a hideously purple color. What was that?
You have slain one of my brethren, Dark One. For that you will pay. Why have you done this? Speak, or your supposed quest for vengeance ends here.
He was acting strangely. Look around first, before you accuse me.
I will not have infighting in my party. Let's examine this.
This lever connects to a trap mechanism to the south. How could you know this?
My eyes see far more than you ever know, Dwarf.
What is that supposed to mean?
Leave him be, Farley. Let us stop bickering and get on with this.
Elves and dwarves just never get along. If Enigma had not been in my party, this dwarf would have been able to set off that trap, and my party would have been struck by a flame trap. But that's stuff you'll see in a bonus video. He drops the most common dwarf items, but also this thing which the journal actually doesn't have a description for. but it definitely looks like a crowbar. Anything of interest here? It's a sign.
It's covered with dust.
This is the dust of Xanthi. It is a lingering gift of the shadows. It causes illness upon contact with the skin. You should not touch it.
There's more than one of these signs in this level, and you should definitely heed Enigma's advice. Instead of trying to wipe the dust off, use a potion or a bucket of water if you have it, in order to get rid of the dust. I'll use this useless frog potion.
I can't read it.
I cannot read it.
Balance. Oh, balance. Who wants balance? Hey, I do.
Just read it.
And thus was balance restored in the end.
Well, that's a very uplifting message at least. Looks like this loops around to nowhere. Dead end? Let's step into it.
There is something odd about one of these walls. There are hidden mechanisms of dwarven construct from the look of them. I could use this piece of metal to make it function.
Oh, so Farley uses the crowbar to open the wall, and beyond the door is a stairway leading down. In we go. No! Not this background again. Yes, it's the lair of the Dark Dwarves. Pretty ominous. Not much of a surprise what we're going to be finding here, I guess. Carefully and quietly explore this place. Bones on the ground, that's not good news. There's a dwarf standing with his back towards us. I don't really want to hurt this guy. Let's try to slip past him quietly. Oh no. So these are dark dwarves, but since they can't help it, let's look for a peaceful solution to this. This ugly altar over here looks fragile, and smashing it breaks the spell. Let's see if they're grateful.
Thank you, great master. I have been in the thrall of magic for a long time.
What did he say?
The evil one gave us food to kill. I made many traps. Don't touch the door!
Did he say there's a trap on the door?
Yes. They're button in wall across passage behind door. Push them. This the pattern.
Well, let's have a look at that.
Interesting.
Yeah, right.
There are more, but I forgot.
Thank you. Do you need help getting out of here?
I afraid evil one come to kill me. I hide from him now.
No. Come with us. We will protect you from his power.
No.
Well, even though the spell is lifted, it looks like these poor dwarves are left permanently retarded. And in the pile of hay here you find another very sharp dagger. It's kind of hard to tell, but the trap door that this dwarf was talking about was actually the door I tried to open in the very first area of this level, which had some kind of spell on it. And the weird scroll with the X's and O's is actually the way to solve that panel with the 16 buttons I found in the wall. I really have no idea how you're supposed to figure this out on your own, but oh well. And here's the passage that dwarf fled into, which loops around and leads to a dead end with a hole in the ceiling. The scroll on the ground here is the exact same scroll I got from the dwarf, with the solution for the puzzle. I have no idea why they put a hole in the ceiling here and then don't do anything with it, and actually have the voice actor record a specific comment for it. I kinda suspect that the trap in the level above, where Enigma shot a dwarf from a distance, was originally supposed to be a pitfall instead of a flame trap, and it would have dumped you here in the lair of the Dark Dwarves. I can't think of any other reason why that hole would be here. Another Black Slayer arrow, which brings my total to 3. Not much, but like I said, they're one of the best weapons in the game. more bones and skulls here. Nothing else in this dirt. Yeah, love a good routine. This well is here so you can fill up your bucket and clean the sign above that had the dust on it. Pressing the switch opens a wall behind me, which hides another black Slayer arrow and a mana circle, which is quite useful in this level. While we're here, might as well recharge all the protective spells and do a little bit of healing maybe. You definitely want to keep your shield and armor spells topped off in these levels, because even though my first encounter with the fire elementals didn't show it, they are really, really dangerous. If your spells fail, then those fire elementals will make quick work of you. Well, that's pretty much all of this area explored. Let's go back to the main corridor. Khull-Khuum's tower actually consists of 5 different floors. Though none of them are really elaborate. I think possibly the Palace of Shadows was originally going to be the final level, but they added on a little bit more. And here we get another batch of floating spikers. Not much danger. If you don't have a shield spell on, that explosion in your face can be pretty nasty, but right now they're not much of a threat. A lot of nasty long corridors in here. And does this room have anything interesting? Well, there's a spiker coming out of the wall here, which means there's a illusionary wall, which hides another stat-raising potion for Drake. There we go. Another point of agility to add to the bunch. That's pretty nice. This corridor looks pretty suspicious. Why not use Afri's orb once again to see if there's anything of interest here? Well, there's 2 dots in the little alcoves here, but there's also an illusionary wall to the side. Let's use that first. And a panel on the wall. Now, believe it or not, this is supposed to be the Power 2 meta rune. If you wash this thing away with a potion or a bucket of water and you don't already have the Power 2 meta rune inscribed in your journal, apparently you get it now. I don't really understand why they'd put something so obscure in here, especially considering the likelihood that you would already have that meta rune by now. However, washing it away also does something else. It depowers the 2 skull heads which are waiting for you here. Not that they're that tough to begin with, but maybe if your stats are a bit lower, they would pose a bit more of a threat. Let's explore the end of this corridor. It's gonna be another dead end, with a couple of manifesting fire elementals. As you can see, fire elementals can shoot firebolts at you, which is why it's so important to have a good shield spell on you. Oh, did you see that? Something flashing in a wall, a cross shape. This is definitely a spot you want to remember. There's nothing else of interest in here, but I'm gonna drop a teleportation circle here so I'll be able to return later. Let's just try to remember that in case we find another thing shaped like a cross. Okay, well, not much to do now, but backtrack a bit. We had a little bit more to explore, a little further way back. While it's definitely not a pushover, I have to say I'm a little bit disappointed with the final level of Stonekeep. I know some other RPGs which actually make use of the final level to make a really big, challenging map, with lots of new enemies that pose a really big threat against you. And Stonekeep doesn't really do that. It just kind of throws some last ideas at you and then it's the end. Oh well, no sense in complaining. Let's keep going.
There is writing here, but a dark powder covers the words, making it impossible to read.
This is the dust of Zandili. It is a lingering gift of the shadows. It causes illness upon contact with the skin. You should not touch it.
So again, let's use a useless Throg potion and clean it up.
I can't read it.
It is beyond my talents.
Bah, darkness and light. How mundane, how boring, how depressing.
Just tell me what it says.
Oh, all right. In the beginning, there was darkness and light. And me.
Yeah. The closer you get to the ending, the more Wahuka starts making ominous comments like this. Definitely gives you the feeling that there's a lot more to him than meets the eye. Another strangely placed illusionary wall, which leads to yet another door.